So just your first name,
Paul.
Paul. What's the most profound spiritual experience you've had?
It was at a time when I seen my first therapist. It was a regressive hypnotherapy, and before a session, we'd done several sessions, and before one of the sessions, we just sat, and there was this just overwhelming feeling of complete letting go, and just this melting, and then just, I don't know, everything just seemed to expand, and it was just totally mind-blowing as I just sat, and it felt as I was still there, I was sort of whispering, but just kept expanding completely beyond the physical body. I mean, I was aware of the physical body, but as I was just filled the room, and just, it was just this presence that was just so magical, so amazing. One of the reasons I was going to see the therapist was to look at my drug addictions and drug dependencies and alcohol, and it was better than any drug I'd had.
Wow.
I mean, it was a natural.
That's amazing.
It was just, yeah, I'd done a lot of ecstasy, and it was a feeling that was beyond the ecstasy. That I was present to it. It was so peaceful, so loving. I mean, it was just, I can't even put it into words.
Right.
It was
That's amazing. And when was that, roughly, time-wise?
probably about 10 years ago.
Right. And have you, how have you been with that? In other words, have you tried to get it back, or
Yes.
has it come? Has it come back? Have you been successful?
One of the reasons for me why I continued on a spiritual path of just self-exploration, because I came out of that experience and I was walking down the street, and there was a girl I used to go partying, clubbing with. She looked at me and said, "Wow, what are you on?" It was just like, and I'd never felt so alive, so young. I was radiating, and
Right.
It lasted for about 3 days.
Wow, that's long.
I was just buzzing off it, and from then on, I was chasing it like a drug.
Right.
Which kind of then I want to do every kind of
Yeah.
workshop to get it. So and I've been letting go. I mean, I know it's always there, and it's a feeling that I know that I can't necessarily access it, but I know it's there. So it's within me, and I'm not chasing it. I think for years that's why I thought, right, I'm just gonna chase it. And it's just now more and more part of my life, not to the same degree as that experience, but for me, I know. I mean, it was so profound. I knew there was something else.
Right. Lovely. Thank you. That's wonderful. Can you tell me about a spiritual experience that you've had in your life?
Not right now, but I'll do a little cartwheel, and it may have a little bearing on it.
About any spiritual experiences you've had in your life.
What, like things that affected me or something like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. What do I mean? You mean, what do I mean by
Yeah.
that? I say things that are unusual, maybe things that are not. I don't know how.
Well, I mean, it's
Go on.
very simple. His dad died, and he went
Yeah.
plunging into the spiritual world right there. He
Yeah.
knows
Can you
about
tell
the
me about
spiritual
that?
world very well.
Well,
How
I
old were you?
moved.
How old were you when your dad died?
about 7 or 8.
Right, and what happened?
6 or 7. So, like, getting ready for on the weekend, downstairs, sounded like Dad was moving a few things around.
Was this after he died?
No, this was before. Dad
Right.
was up there.
Just moved house. You
Yeah.
moved from London all the way to the country so you could go to a nice Steiner school.
Right.
You've done 3 weeks
Yeah.
packing and slapping.
Just really like annoying. There was the excitement of packing, but then the big misery of having to leave this giant house.
Right.
Like,
You were living in a
House.
giant house.
yeah, the house that I had ever since I was born. Literally.
Right.
So I spent like 6 years in that house,
Right.
and I was just like, why do we have to move house? I
Right.
moved this house.
Right.
We moved to the next house, settled down. Dad gave us a few facts that we were the first people like to live in the house.
Why? Was it a brand new built house?
Yeah, it was a brand new built house
It's a
for
little
rent.
rented house, isn't it?
So we came in, we got our stuff ready. When we'd settled down and all that, we were going back to school. My dad got a heart attack on the toilet seat actually.
Yeah.
You had this stamp, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like Dad was moving the cupboard round because he wanted to readjust the cupboard, but it sounded like he was moving it around when we heard the thump. He probably just dropped one of the boards.
Right.
Next minute, Mum comes hurrying down the stairs, dials 999 and asks the ambulance for help.
Right.
They don't even turn up, just give her instructions that she can't follow. And then about half an hour later they turn up.
Right.
2 hours later.
2
And
hours
she's
later.
tried everything. They probably just started. It was just weird.
Right.
Quite a long time afterwards. I can't remember how long it was.
Okay.
Then we moved to an even smaller little titchy house. But the good thing was our school was just up the road. So now I walk to school.
Okay. And tell me about what's been going on in terms of how. Do you I don't know how to say this.
Speak to your dad.
Yeah. Do you speak to your dad?
Well, every time I see a lantern go off or something like that, I just kind of think about him and kind of eye shot it. So I try and think that my eyes are staples and I'm stapling a message for him.
And when you're at the seaside, you write hello dad in the sand.
Yeah. Footprints, stones, and writing or digging a hole in the sand. So, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.